99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning to you, Lagos, Nigeria. 7:33 from our studios. Apologies for the hiccup. Sometimes you have this hiccup when you maybe you just do a few things and then you're not familiar with those things. You have these hitches here and there. Yeah, that's exactly what our new software is doing. To showing us Pro Max Shaggy. But would get over it. Someone listened to our show yesterday, and the person said that he was just laughing when you were saying that this thing will jump in. Let's go on break. Let's not go on. Let's go on break. He was just laughing while he was driving yesterday.
There's a one-time solution.
Yeah.
I'm at Italy on Saturday when I come, when Onyinye say I'll excuse her because Onyinye is born again. We'll pour some libation on it.
And it will start working.
We will call it the name that it is called.
It has a name.
We'll pour libation.
See the name here. See the name there now.
No, that's not.
This is not the name.
This is the name that Oyibo gave it. My people will find out the original name.
Oruko kiniko.
Just pour libation now, it'll be fine. You installed it without launching. You see, that's the problem. Morning, everybody. I'm joking, no, please. You know why I keep saying I'm joking?
Yeah.
There was an incident that happened during Shagari's time.
Okay.
And there was this famous commissioner in Ibadan who was known for his prowess. So all of a sudden, somebody just fell dead. It just dropped dead, rather. And everybody was in Basieni. It was only talking. He thought, I'm joking, don't come and test me.
It's a joke.
What is it? So, I also remember somebody was actually running away from me. He says, yeah, you juju man.
Because of the left pocket.
Because of the left pocket. I'm joking, don't please, everyone.
You're welcome to the show. You're welcome. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
I'm Jimi. Disu. Good morning.
You can watch us live on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch. Let's start this morning with the Punching paper. Page 2 of the Punching paper has a story here. FG plans fresh audit of 2.7 trillion naira subsidy debt.
There is something about this government, in spite of my usual criticisms, that pleases me. And that is that sometimes you get a sense that somebody there is listening. Okay? I mean, and it's to the credit of this administration. You get a sense that somebody there is listening and then they get to do something about it. Okay, so usually we've been talking about probing the subsidy, whatever, that we need to probe and find out those who did this and those who did that, and so on and so forth. And for political reasons, the president can't just institute a probe. He can't. I mean, it would raise an alarm, because a lot of his associates, I'm sure, are involved in these things. You can't run away from that, being a politician. A lot of his associates, because it's money bags also that fund these things. But what the federal government has now decided to do, rather than probe and send the EFCC there and throw a bomb in the place, they have an audit firm, KPMG, and the audit firm is going to commence a fresh audit of 2.8 trillion naira subsidy claim by the NNPC. So it's another way of trying to find out. We hope this probe will be thorough and it will indict those who are supposed to be indicted, and if they are indicted, we hope they'll be handed over to the authorities and severely punished, because 2.8 trillion fuel subsidy claim, is humongous.
That's a lot.
To say the least. Now, according to this story, the audit. Okay. Giving an update on the issue during the FAC meeting, the Minister of Finance and Chairman of the committee, Wale Edun, said Tinubu was committed to ensuring that the forensic audit of NNPC was conducted and results analyzed. He stated that the audit would span 2015 to 2021. I wish they could take it further back than that, but that would be a Herculean task.
2015 to 2020. Well, that's Buhari's regime.
That's Buhari's regime. There was a lot of subsidy in Jonathan's regime.
Yeah, quite a lot, in fact.
Yeah, you caught quickly that is Buhari's regime.
Yes.
That's why I like you. You're smart.
I know.
Well, my friend.
Take.
So what we have is, I don't want to spend too much time on any story today, so we can have a broader whatever. So what we have here is an attempt at least to get an idea of what went down in the subsidy regime, which I think we would need to commend the government for. Now let's see how thorough it's going to be, and let's see what happens. We hope it's not an audit report that will be buried, and KPMG should realize that Nigerians are watching them. They have a reputation to maintain. Nigerians are going to keep a keen eye on what's going on, and guess what? There are loads of people here who have information that will help this audit, team, especially retired, disgruntled NNPC staff and so on and so forth. So we call on them to be patriotic and try to help this audit firm find out exactly, like Ratata will say, what are going in this NNPC shadow account. So it's not an audit of NNPC. Let me quickly state that it is an audit of the 2.8 trillion the trillion fuel subsidy claim by NNPC, 2.8. So that's what we have for today. That's the summary. I don't want to waste too much time on this.
Right. Let's go take our next story. This time we are going to the Vanguard, page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And this story reads, Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, LP PDP rep Afenifere kick as Umahi battles Atiku.
So we have a battle of wits between the pro-Tinubu supporters and the rest of the nation. And to put it in clear perspective, most people don't have anything against the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, in principle. Though I'd rather it be rail. I'd rather you put that kind of money. I think it will be put to better use if it's rail rather than have a coastal road. But given the politics and everything, fair enough. It is the manner that people are talking about, the manner in which the whole thing had been conducted within a government that 7 months just got this contract from only God knows where, no bidding, no proper, what do you call it now, environmental
impact
assessment that is visible to anybody. Everything is shrouded in mystery. And I like what a presenter said on channels, on Arise, the female presenter, when Atiku was being criticized because he mentioned Tinubu's son. She said, well, I want to state so that I won't plagiarize her because I got the idea from her. She said, the Atiku's criticism about Sheyi Tinubu being involved with Shagoris is not a standalone. Don't take it in isolation. It's taken in isolation of the fact that so many other things are wrong. And it's to try to develop a nexus between that. Definitely, there is more than meets the eye in this whatever. And the government would spend the rest of their tenure and long after they are gone explaining what has gone down in this particular. And it's a lot of money. First of all, it was a build, operate, and transfer. Later, we found government. The government now is funding these things. We have other stories here. Umahi says that Atiku is promoting politically motivated false analogies. As far as I'm concerned, that's politics. That is not. What we expect of Umahi is simply to come clean and lay out all the processes and show us what exactly has been done to get to the point where the company was given the contract. Labour Party asked Tinubu and APC to come clean. When you are asked to come clean, what it means, he asks people to come clean. There have been all kinds of falsehoods, and that's it, that to come clean. PDP alleges lies around the project. Let me read part of what I have here. Deputy National Chairman of the party in a chat with Vanguard said, PDP condemns the cacophony of lies from the pit of hell. Why do you like using this word? Desperately told by the inept and clueless APC-led federal government on virtually everything, with particular emphasis on the Lagos-Calabar road. When contacted, this is another one. When contacted, Chairman Public Accounts Committee, Bamidele Salam of PDP, said, I think that this is a very good project, but it must conform to all laws on PPP, on public pronouncement, public finance, and appropriation. The federal government must ensure that it conforms to all laws of Public Procurement and Finance Act by the National Assembly. The National Assembly, this is another one, on their hand say that they will assure adequate funding. Also, we have I think we got the reaction of the Afenifere yesterday. All said and done, the questions have not been answered adequately, to the best of my mind. And the federal government cannot bully itself through. It can hire all kinds of people to make statements for, and then in response to against. But people should be careful the way they do that. And I'm referring to my friend who says he has this common sense series. You must know that you don't put your reputation on the line for things like this. Maybe because of, I don't know, maybe because of media gains, I don't know what it is. But surely, to speak to him specifically, he knows that there is more that meets the eye in this project. And to make a kind of statement to say those who don't believe in the project should not take the rule is an infantile response. And I'm very embarrassed that this will be coming from somebody of his caliber. It's a touchy subject. It's not a political issue. It's not a for or against issue. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And if some people believe that it's not been properly done, their queries must be answered adequately. Yes.
Yeah. Let's go take the next story on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. Relocation of destitutes to home states will continue. Lagos government.
This is a very, very sensitive story. It will have to be handled with a lot of maturity, and a lot of maturity, and taken completely out of the political realm. Lagos is highly overpopulated and cannot account. I am sure, I haven't asked for the figure, but I doubt if the Lagos state government can account for close to 35 to 40% of the citizens who are in this state at any time. And given the crime rate and projections in terms of crime, the government would have to do something about it. And let's face it, because I'm somebody who looks at things completely from an objective whatever. There are some things, some unorthodox things that will have to happen. If you I'm not saying don't do things by the law, but let's be adults here. We hope that the children are in their classrooms. There are some things that the government will have to do sometimes as something to provide an immediate solution. So, according to what the government was criticized apparently for some story that made the rounds, that they were bundling people in buses and so on and so forth. The little that I understand, that I've been told, is, the people they put in these buses were people who were willing to go back home, and they provided transportation for them. That's the kind of official statement that I got. But we cannot continue to have a city filled up with people that we cannot account for. The same citizens that will criticize this move are the same citizens that would criticize if you have a serious security problem. And it's staring us in the eye. I mean, for God's sake, last week or the week before, the week before, 300 people were picked up in Lekki alone. Lekki Gate. Lekki 1 Gate. 300 people who could not account for what they were doing. 300. Okay? Were picked up in Lekki alone, not to talk of all over the states. And I remember my brother was here last week and said, oh yes, the government should make provisions for housing. It's not going to happen overnight. I am one for due process, that we should be able to identify one way or the other at least 80% of people amongst us. Because if you don't do that, these people are open to committing all kinds of crimes, including murder and whatever, and there'll be nowhere to be found. Quite a large number of them are not even Nigerians. You understand? And then there's also the security problem. That there are loads of things that government cannot come out to say publicly. Okay, let's be honest. Let's be honest now that they cannot. But something they must do about this, and must be done in a hurry. I have it on good authority that, and I said it here before, that the commissioner of police had approached the government that he was worried at the number of under 18s who are involved in all kinds of nefarious crimes that you wouldn't imagine. Cultism, rape. How many of them reported? So I have sympathy for the Lagos State government. I'd advise them to apply a bit of caution in what they're doing. But if we want a secure Lagos, we'll have to turn a blind eye to certain things. Lagos cannot put itself in a position that is ready to receive people from failed states. We don't have the capacity. That's what the Brits are doing now, and saying that, okay, if you come under some law that you're being harassed in your country, they went to do a deal with Rwanda. So if you go across the channel and you turn up at the British whatever, they say no problem, you can't stay in your country. Well, you can't stay in ours. But once you're here, we have a deal. We know where we can take you to. They bundle you on a plane and head off to Rwanda. It's unorthodox. It has some human rights issues in it, but it's practical. It is practical. What we should do, those of us who are living in other states that are not functional, is to grab at our own people. Somebody cracked it here on one of that sheriff that he knows. He called in, was a caller. He says he knows somebody who has a 3-bedroom flat.
Yeah, I was here.
I have a witness. If you don't trust sheriff, if you don't trust me, at least sheriff heard it. You didn't hear it with your 2 ears?
Yes.
It's Meji.
He said he has a 3-bedroom flat.
But one lived under the bridge in Lagos. I mean, come on. So,
like you said, I'd like to just buttress one point that you made about the other states.
Yes,
I think citizens of other states must hold their governors accountable, and they must put pressure on their government as well, because we can't keep blaming Lagos State government for trying to protect Lagosians, for trying to protect people who are here, who are making a living. They are not from here. They are not from Lagos.
No, not necessarily, no.
But they are here. They are making a living. But then these are the destitutes that they're posing some sort of threats into their lives. Nobody would want that.
If in one day you could pick up 300 from Lekki.
I mean, that's, you see the way I looked at you when you mentioned 300.
Yes, I got this figure from the government.
Just one place, one location.
Yes, got it in 300 in one day.
That's scary.
It's very scary. I know my friends who live in Lekki now. They must be.
That's really scary.
It's scary. And then, to put it bluntly, let me look over my shoulder and make sure that all is up. A larger percentage of them come from a concentrated area. That's the most polite way I can put it. So what you have, to put it bluntly again, if care is not taken, is a standing army. I leave you to judge the rest.
All right. Who will judge? Who will judge the rest?
You judge with them, or you come on my side. we are the defendants.
Let's take this story. Tinubu's disappearing acts. It's a column by Ikechukwu Amechi.
This is it's been a while since we took stories from the columns, but he's very, very angry. He's very, very angry about the fact that the president went to Saudi. No, he went to Netherlands, from there to Saudi, and wasn't even polite enough for any of his spokespersons to tell us where exactly he went. Nobody does that. Let me take that from my good friend Itu Egodalo. Who does that? You can't just, even as a family man, you can't just stray off. If he had a medical challenge and he went for treatment, state it. Tell us where he is. Oh, he had a medical challenge and he had to see his doctors. We've come to accept that those who lead us will not avail themselves of the medical facilities that they provided here. We've learned to live with that. So if you said that he went to see his doctors, nobody would raise an eyebrow. But it's extremely rude and insensitive for government. Our president disappears and you think you don't owe us an explanation as to where he is. But the government usually gets boosted by, they do these things. When you're boosted by somebody who was supposed to be in the opposition and has moved over apparently to the other side, and that's Boala. And he says that Ikechukwu Amechi in the Vanguard today is angry with Boala. He said Boala was talking about the provisions of Chapter 1, Part 2, Section 5 of the Constitution, which deals with the executive powers of the Federation. As a lawyer, he knows the Constitution, that no section of the Constitution says that the president can govern from the moon if he so wishes. Boala made a statement that quite embarrassing for a relatively senior citizen and a lawyer for that matter to say, oh, the president can rule from anywhere. These are the kind of people that confuse and mislead people in power. How could you say that? How could you? Oh, the president can rule from anywhere. No, he can't. Nobody has said he couldn't even have gone to the UK to see his doctor. There are processes for these things. But it's highly irresponsible for somebody to just go AWOL. If you did it in the military, you'd be discharged immediately. It's not right. Let's call a spade a spade. You can't just walk away and we don't know where our president is in a country where everything is done hands-on. And people should stop, in the means of support and whatever it is, stop misleading the president on things like this. And nobody told us where he was until he was ready to come back. That we now got from Payon Onoga. We could even, I would have thought that the easiest one to be with that, oh, he has a learn this and he wants to take a 2-week vacation and he hands over to the vice president. It's not going to stop him from being president. And he hands over to the vice president. I want 2 weeks vacation. I have a medical challenge. Let me go and make sure that I'm well tidied up and come back. Please, those who are supporters of, I can understand the ones who want to at the social media and all kinds of things. Not a man like Boala, a lawyer. Definitely not. Definitely not. The president cannot just rule. He can rule from anywhere, but it's conditional.
That's the word.
It's conditional. So don't bring it down to say that what if. There's no what if there. What it is that if there's a challenge like this one, you explain to the people. I mean, come on, it's the least polite action that you can take. And that's why we have a vice president. We should stop making these things personal. You're getting so tense. The engine is warning you. How many minutes do we have?
We just need to take a quick break. This is a short break. Very short.
The way you are good at
when we return from this break, we'll wrap up. We'll probably take our last story
okay.
This morning. Stay here, Lagos. We'll be back in a moment.
Is your heart racing because your MTN line is blocked? You can't make calls. You can't receive calls. Not even text messages. Nothing at all? What about bank alerts? All these happened because you haven't linked your NIN to your MTN line. Unblock your MTN line today by linking it to your NIN. Rush to any nearby MTN store or agent. If you don't have your NIN yet, no problem. Simply go to any nearby NIMC office to get your NIN. MTN. What are we doing today?
My children take some lessons online. This is how our days used to go.
Dad! Daddy, my screen is frozen! Dad!
Dad this, Dad that. That's my poor connection cue. But today, I celebrate an end to these frustrations thanks to MTN 5G broadband. Now, lessons, family times, streaming our favorite shows, all working from home are the easiest. Get on the train. Thank me later.
My daddy is the best in the whole wide world!
Because every second matters, you can do so much in a day with MTN 5G broadband. Create, connect, and keep winning with MTN 5G broadband. Visit shop.mtn.ng.
Welcome back to the show. We've got about 2 minutes left on the show this morning, so we're just going to take our last story. which is on Naira depreciation. This one is from Vanguard, page 20. Naira depreciate further as dollar sales to BDCs wobble.
Okay, now for those who are celebrating the appreciation of the Naira, let me announce to you that according to this story, today is the 9th of May, 2024. The Naira has depreciated as dollar sales to BDCs wobble. The Naira now in the parallel market is the dollar now in the parallel market is $1,450, and as at yesterday, the pound was almost going to 1,008 again from where it was coming. Could this like credence to the fact that some people, including what's the name of this? Was it Bloomberg? Was saying that the government leaned into our reserves to fund the market to get a stable rate at that time. And I had said, I don't know if I told you, Sheriff, that if that was what it was, it's going to be short-lived because it's not sustainable.
It isn't.
It's not sustainable. So the story we have here by Babajide Komolafa is that the declining fortunes of the Naira persisted yesterday with further depreciation in the parallel and official markets, okay, due to the emergence of speculation and hoarding, even as some BDCs withdrew from the CBN's dollar sales program.
We must go, but he's back.
Our website.
You see this? I will. Don't worry. Rest assured, Monday will not be like this. That's in your dread. Okay. It's a joke. I'm just joking.
Thank you so much for coming.
All right.
The news is next at the top of the hour. Stay here, please. We'll be back.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.